Hey, how's it going, peeps? Kiwi Lisa here. I am currently sitting in the Tamar Valley. Stayed here last night at the Rosevears Hotel. There's an awesome spa right here. Been in Tasmania for 5 nights. I'm just going to run through with you what I did, what I saw, what I booked, where I stayed, how things went, and I'll just link everything below. So I'm going to start with my holiday hasn't been as planned. I was supposed to be here for 3 weeks. I was supposed to be doing a Trafalgar tour first for a week. I was then going to do a road trip for a week, and then I was going to go to New Zealand for a week. Well, COVID changed those plans. Firstly, New Zealand got cancelled. Secondly, my Trafalgar tour got cancelled, and I went, oh well, that's okay. Can't complain. You can't get cranky with that. So I decided to do a 3-week road trip. Yep, 3 weeks you can discover every nook and cranny in Tasmania, right? Yep, so I was going to do a round trip, 22 days. Hire a car, do a road trip. Well, yep, COVID threw a spanner in those works because Hobart went into lockdown, that's right. And I had to make a quick decision about what I was going to do. So I changed my plans and decided, okay, I'm just going to come for a short time. I'm just going to come for 5 nights. Yep, only 5 nights, short and sweet, in and out. I thought in 5 nights I could just go to Launceston and just walk around, do some things locally anyway. But then I went, okay, let's just rebook another car just for the 5 nights. So lucky enough, I was able to book a car online. So I hadn't done that. The original car booking was done through an agent. So I booked online through a rentalcars.com. I was a little bit skeptical because I was only booking it to pick up for the next day, and I went, is it even going to book? I didn't know. I thought I'd rock up to Launceston and I would have no car. Because it sends back confirmation to confirm it straight away. So booking rentalcars.com, link below, they have a list of all the cars you can book. So they have, it's kind of like one stop shop. They have a list of all the cars, you know, Hertz and Budget, Thrifty, Elmo, Enterprise, Economy cars, all the cars all in one spot. You can pick which one you want. Obviously, yes, I was lucky enough to book a car. Elmo was actually the cheapest by a huge margin. So if you're looking at booking a car and you want to book it for tomorrow, go onto this site. I'm going to link it below. Just one little thing though is that you book it in Australian dollars, which I did, but because it's through an overseas UK based company, there's an international fee. Not a huge amount, but just something to bear in mind. So I got to Launceston, got in late, so I didn't do anything. It just happened to be my birthday. And I have a friend here, she invited me over for dinner. And the next day she picked us up. She decided to drive us around because, you know, she's local. She knows all the best spots, right? So she picked us up, picked me up. We went for breakfast at her little local, which is the Hideaway Cafe. Had a breakfast there. Then we had booked a river cruise, a Tamar Valley river cruise. But it was only a 50-minute cruise. It was $33. Reasonably good value for what we saw. It goes that away, it goes that away, and it goes that away. So kind of 50 minutes, doesn't really go too far, but takes you enough. He gives you a bit of a commentary, you know, he tells you a little about the spots that you're looking at. Went under the bridge, that opened the dam, so the waters were flowing. So after that we decided to go to the Cataract Gorge. I wanted to do the chairlift, but it had been drizzling and it was raining, so we just got ourselves a bite to eat at the cafe there and then decided to head back into the town. So I hope to go back to Cataract Gorge today before I fly back home. Fingers crossed it's not raining, but it's a little bit overcast. It is a little bit grey, so I'm not too sure. So we went into the city park. Did you know that there's monkeys in the city park here in Launceston? Yep, they're free, you don't have to pay. It's just an exhibit. The monkeys macaws, I think. I'm not too sure which country they came from, but go check out the monkeys. You know, Launceston is in full blooming colour. It's beautiful, you know, it's nice and lush and green, and there's beautiful flowers. I decided to take myself for a walk around Launceston. So you know, there's beautiful colonial style accommodation. Things are, it's just an older vibe. It's kind of like, I don't know, I'm from New Zealand, so it's kind of like a Dunedin vibe. So I stayed for 2 nights in Launceston, stayed at the Colonial on Elizabeth Street. It was a 1-bedroom place. It had a double bed and a single bed, just a little wee small bathroom, had some, you know, basic facilities. It was reasonably priced, so I was quite impressed, and you can walk locally from there. So I would say stay there. The bed was blinking top notch. It was really comfortable, you know. You can judge a hotel room or motel room by the bed. That one was really, really nice. So I was only here for 5 nights, of course, so 2 nights in Launceston, and then it decided I definitely got to go to Cradle Mountain. Come on, got to go to Cradle Mountain when you're here. Up in the north, near Launceston. So road trip out there. So I don't know how long did it take to get to Cradle Mountain. I think it's only about 2.5, 3 hours. Well, it took us all day. So we left in the morning, road tripped. We did a little bit of a detour. We stopped at Deloraine. I wasn't going to stop there, but there was roadworks on the way, so I stopped, and it was a nice little wee township. So I think it's called, it's known for the town or town of sculptures, because as you wander along the street, one little main street, there are statues placed along the street on both sides, so you can walk up one street and walk down the other, and there's all these statues. So all these artists in the town got together, and people now go to Deloraine to get their photo taken with statues. I didn't know that, but yeah. So we had stopped in at a cafe, you know, had something to eat, and then we headed off to Sheffield. Yep, Sheffield's another spot to go. I think all the tourists stop there, the buses stop there. One little wee street, not very long at all. You can walk the whole street in 5 minutes. No, not 5 minutes, you know, 20 minutes. But Sheffield is known for the town of murals. Yep, there are murals everywhere in that township. You know, walk along it, there's some hidden off the street, but yeah, we were there. We just thoroughly just enjoyed walking around, checking out all the sculptures. I'm not saying I've seen them all, but I've seen a lot of them. We stopped into a little wee souvenir shop. It was called the Glue Gum Souvenirs. It's not one of those cheap, tacky, made in China ones. I don't know if they were made in China, but it was a pretty nice souvenir shop. So if you're there, pop in. The lady behind the counter, she was lovely. We grabbed again a coffee and something to eat, and then we headed off to Cradle Mountain. When we drove in, it was a little bit drizzly, a little bit cool, and we did spot a wombat as we came in, but he ran away real quick. I don't know if they're shy or not, but the little wombat, he took off when we got out of the car. So we stayed at the Wilderness Cradle Village. I'm going to link below because I don't know if I got that right. Now, I might just say that for the price that we paid for the accommodation, it was quite expensive. If you were just a single traveller, you'd probably want to go somewhere else, but it was quite expensive. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. It was self-contained, so there were cooking facilities, not that we used them. It had a spa bath, which was very nice after I did my hike the next day. But you decide. There's only one good thing about that hotel is it's really, really close to the visitor centre, so it only takes like a minute or 2 to drive your car, which I did. I was lazy. I drove my car to the visitor centre the next day. So we arrived at the Cradle Mountain about 4:30. The luxury of having no tourists around is things don't get booked out. So I rung the Devil's Cradle and asked them if they had any spots available for their sunset experience, which they did. Happened to be that it was just me and Mum on this tour. It runs from 7 to about 8:15. You get behind the scenes invitation, so you get to wander around, check out the displays. They have obviously Tasmanian devils, and they have quolls, so they're a breeding centre for Tasmanian devils and quolls. It was a little bit drizzly, a little bit cold, but we got behind the scenes. We got to see the little wee baby Tasmanian devil and the little wee baby quoll. We even got to touch the little wee Tasmanian devil baby. And then we got to watch her feed them, the big ones, that is, feed the Tasmanian devils. And yes, I got to do it myself. And to be honest, they make a lot of noise and they seem like they're really, really angry, but they aren't. They didn't attack each other, so I think that Tasmanian devils, you think that they're scary animals, probably just because they make a lot of noise. But no, they're not scary at all. They didn't even fight. They make the more bark than their bite. So that was really, really good. So when you're in Cradle Mountain, make sure you do that. So the next day was only the one day. I was very fortunate enough that my one day that I was going to be hiking was spectacular. They say to dress for every occasion, be prepared because the weather can change, and it didn't. It was beautiful all day. So I caught, I think, the second bus in. Make sure you get a pass. You go to the visitor centre, you got to get the bus in. So at the visitor centre, I actually booked a holiday pass that's valid for 2 months, which I did book online. I'll link below. But then you go to the visitor centre to get a bus pass, get on the buses, because the buses you can only get in using a bus. I think I was told that there's boom gates, so they open the boom gates at 8 o'clock at night and then close them again at 6 a.m. in the morning. So if you kind of snuck in there at night, you're stuck there because you can't get out. But you have to be bussed in and out. The road itself is just kind of really narrow and one way. And to be honest, when I was travelling on the bus, I got a little bit of motion sickness. I didn't actually realise I would, but it's a little bit windy going through there. So I went to Ronnie's Creek. My plan was to walk to the Marions Lookout. I didn't think that I was going to be able to do it, but I did. It was pretty easy. So Marions Lookout, make sure you do that. It was pretty easy, pretty manageable. The views up there are stunning, and you always feel accomplished when you've done something awesome. So there's one little tough part. You have to climb up with the chains, but once you get there, it's awesome. There's these little black crows up there. Just watch them, because they will steal your food. They stole my food out of my hand. So make sure you take plenty of food, plenty of water, because, you know, weather can change, and, you know, you've got to be well nourished and well hydrated. So once I got to the top, had a squiz around, a freaking awesome view up the top, made my way back down to the Dovelake. I wasn't going to do it. It's another couple of hours to do that, but if you have limited time, if you do Marions Peak, just do the boat shed, and then there's a glacier lookout, so that doesn't actually take too long. I did the boat shed, and did the Tasman, or that was the glacier lookout. I wanted to get back to see wombats. I was told that you can see wombats at Ronnie's Creek, and because they don't like the sun, then the best time to see them is later in the day when the sun's gone down. Because we had such a beautiful day hiking, there weren't too many there. I had run into some hikers, and they said that the day before they'd seen like 100 at Ronnie's Creek. Well, when I got there, it was about 4 o'clock, and I don't know, maybe there was 6, 10. There weren't many, and you have to stay on the boardwalk, so they're not easily photographed because their heads are always down eating the grass, and they're always facing your bum facing them. but awesome. You got to do Cradle Mountain, do the hike. The next day I came back and the weather was terrible, so I had an awesome day. I had to take Mum to a walk the next day. It was drizzly, raining. We did the Enchanted Forest. It was a 20-minute walk. She enjoyed it. I threw her on a bus. She did a loop in the Cradle Mountain bus, and then we were headed here, Tamar Valley. We took a different way. We went via Devonport. The road out that way is a little bit twisty and turny, so if you're actually going via Devonport to get to Tamar Valley, be prepared you might get sick. I was driving. I don't normally get sick when I'm driving, but yeah, I needed to pull over. That's how bad it got. I actually got motion sickness as a driver. So I think the route was C16, but anyway, it's a little bit, maybe you want to do the Sheffield route. We went to Devonport. I went to the famous Benio's bakery, ordered myself this scallop pie, and yes, it was delicious. A mild scalloped or curry scalloped pie. You got to try one of them. That's famous Tasmanian scallop pie, so have one of those whilst you're here. Got to the Tamar Valley here at the Rosevears Hotel. Beautiful accommodation. They have a pub downstairs. I went and had a yummy meal, a pasta meal, couple of wines. There's a jetty across the road. The accommodation is stunning. Had an awesome spa last night because, you know, I love a spa. But yeah, this one was reasonably priced as well, so this one's worth staying. It's a little bit out of way, but I didn't want to go back to Launceston. I wanted to try something different. I'll link below because I only booked that a couple of days ago. So I'm heading back to Brisbane today, heading back into Launceston. I'm hoping that the Cataract Gorge lift is working and it's not raining. I'm not that hopeful, but I hope this has been interesting, peeps. I'll be back to Tasmania to check out the rest of it, so I'm going to link everything below. So that's it. Over and out, peeps. Booyah!